What'd you say?
I said I know my eyes be wandering and
Before
shit.
that.
Go get some sunglasses?
Yeah, you said you was finna go put some sunglasses on.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. We're gonna restart. Fresh start.
Take two.
Like, I don't know.
Like,
We live a life of new beginnings all the time. And
restart as many times as you need to. That is on my vision board.
yeah, speaking of vision boards, man, we came into the new year right. Like, I'm telling you, my vision board, I've done everything on them pictures. My pictures, nigga, it's real life. Like, it's happened. It's happened. Could you say that?
I mean, a lot of it, yeah. I've been staying consistent. I have journaling on there. I've been doing that. Going to the gym 3 times a week at least. I've been doing that. Give back when I can. I've been doing that. Saying my affirmations. I could be a little better. But I'm seeing this stuff, like the way I eat now, my diet and everything, that's on the board. That's changing. Like, it's small steps that are actually being fulfilled that I was envisioning that have manifested, So it's keeping at that to manifest the bigger stuff that's on that board. I've already started small. There's big stuff, there's ranges on that board, and I'm already at level 1. So,
and I think honestly, this year was more potent than any other year, just because leaving 2023, we were in a heavy retrograde. So it really got people in the mindset to reflect about the right things. And then literally January 1st, retrograde ended and everything was stationed correctly. So our vision boards were perfectly timed, planned out, and it had that potency that a regular new year doesn't typically have. And one of the things I've really been trying to do is take more action.
Yeah.
Take more action for sure, because you can envision it all you want.
Mm-hmm. We could talk about it.
And then you just have to follow through, and that's a big topic, is manifestation versus manifestation, envisioning it behind, discipline. What does that look like for you?
Discipline is hard, because when you think of discipline, it's like, I think about to being a kid and being spanked or whatever and everything like that, but it's not just about the actual physical nature behind it. It's the actual willingness to get up and do it again. It might be hard in the beginning, and 9 times out of 10 it is hard in the beginning, but to get up and continue to do that every day, the gym. Some days, early on, I was like, damn, I don't want to go to the gym.
Yeah,
I don't want to go to the gym. I don't want to go to the gym, but it's I get up and do it because I see the gains, I see the progress and everything. And it's funny. It's I'm gonna use the gym for a second. It's been since we've been doing the diet and everything and going to the gym, I've lost 5 pounds, this and that. I stepped on the scale before, but I haven't stepped on the scale since. And it's I'm not gonna put that pressure on me to see numbers or wanting to see numbers until I'm ready for that. You feel me? Other people was oh, well, have you seen the difference? How much weight have you lost? Da, da, da. I'm not putting pressures. I'm not putting parameters on it. I have a goal in mind that I'm trying to hit, and I'm staying consistent. So to be disciplined and wanting to reach that goal is what drives me to stay disciplined. You feel me? It takes a certain nature of wanting to see that success in your hands, and you're the one that's leading yourself to that success. It's okay, I know I need to do this so I can be successful, but it's am I going to stay true to that path and be successful?
Yeah, and like you said, I was she was I hopped on the scale and I was 5 pounds down. I just did it out of nowhere, because I've been keeping myself away from the scale, because this phase in my life, a lot of it's become spiritual to me. It's become just invigorating, filling myself up. And when you're talking about discipline, those moments when you don't want to go to the gym, it's those moments I feel the peakest, when I wake up, roll out of bed, I'm I really don't want to go to the gym, but it fuels me with something when I don't want to go, because that means if I go, because I'm making myself go, I will make myself go. That means I'm putting a new habit into myself. I'm rewiring myself. That moment when you don't want to go but you do is the most powerful thing in the world. not just for the gym, just for everything. And that's why I think it's so important to have that discipline. You can't just have manifestation, because I think manifestation kind of bleeds into, you have to become the vibration of something.
Right.
And if you don't know what the vibration of something is, you have to start learning it through discipline and respect. Like, people automatically think just manifesting will have it come to them. Can you think of any ways where just I'm sorry.
Niggas just get on here and start laughing.
Because I thought I was going somewhere, but it just, sometimes the thoughts just
I mean, I feel like you were talking about, like, the frequencies and everything, and being that, like, manifestations don't just work just because you think about it. Like, you have to put in the work behind it and still think about it. You feel me? For manifestations to work, you have to be on that level. You have to believe that you already have it, that it is already yours, or it's not going to work. Just simply, oh yeah, this would be nice. But if you just, oh yeah, this would be nice every 3 months, that's not going to get you what you're trying to, oh, that's going to be nice. You feel me? You have to, oh, this is going to be nice. And then I'm like, okay, well, what am I going to do behind that that's going to make me feel like, yeah, this is that nice. So it's like finding that frequency of, like, I'm already doing that. Like, you have to literally embody that energy. You have to think that it's already yours, because it is. You control your reality. So for you to be where you are is partially your fault, whether that's good or bad. People be like, oh, everything's against me, everything's against me. What are you doing that everything is against you? Were you scheming, robbing, stealing, selling? Like, you feel me? You gotta understand that you are the person behind everything that you do. And you can put yourself in those right spaces so you can do better things. If you're hanging around these people and they're not getting you nowhere, change your crowd.
I will forever say you really have to create openings for yourself. And I seen it in our lives, and it literally simply started with the way I dress. Changing my fashion and making it so that it was more elevated. I've always envisioned myself to be someone of elegance who dressed like they had money, right? So I started putting that into my style. What happens next? What happens next? We're taking vacations. What happens next? We're traveling more. What happened next? We relocated. We're in a house versus a tiny shoebox.
Yeah.
What happened next? I've opened myself to understanding and learning skills that will create me 6 figures. I've gotten and I've seen how becoming the vibration of has to be followed by discipline, because you have to unwire what was put in you the wrong way. So it is definitely a process to get there.
A lot of rewiring. Half of what you're taught at a young age is kind of like good and bad. It's some good stuff, and then it's bullshit, and it's because it's a cycle, like when people talk about family traumas and everything like that shit is real. Like, you can't help nobody if you're hurting someone yourself. You feel me? So if you're hurting yourself and you think you can help someone else, you're not. You're projecting. You're putting all that negative energy onto them, and they're just gonna keep doing the same thing until you have a general curse breaker. You feel me? Who's gonna go through that pain and then understand it and accept it for what it is and change and rewire themselves and not be stubborn in that, and understand that me doing this is going to suck ass. But when I come out on the other side, I'm going to be so successful. And I think, like, that's the biggest thing. Like, that's the choice. Do I want to stay where I'm at, or do I want to go to a higher place?
Yeah.
And not, like, you feel me, off the drugs or anything, but, like, literally mentally elevated into a higher space just because I changed my mindset and I had some discipline.
Yeah. Like, it's like you said about being a generational curse breaker. Like, at first, I was this little kid who just looked at me, looked around and seen people who talked about stuff in, whether it's our parents or whatever, they said, I can't because of this. I can't because of this. I won't do this because I can't, you know? They're telling you their stories and you're reattaining that vibration to you, attaching that story to you. And it is hard to shed. But I realized me watching that I couldn't be the same. I couldn't be that I'm broke, we're broke. I can't, it is up to you. Honestly, today, if you are broke in this day and age, it's because you want to be. There's something in you. And trust me, I'm still there a little bit, but I've opened myself up and I'm fighting for it because I see the difference. Like, once you start to tap into it, just like you can have a spiritual awakening and realize everything. Life is a game. It's energetics. It's the same thing with a financial matrix and making money. It is just that simple. It is that simple.
Next topic, point.
Yeah. Why would you coin yourself as a generational curse breaker? Why do you think you are?
Why do I think that? I'm the black sheep for real.
Or we're like, come on.
I think that just because we don't see things eye to eye with those our elders, and it's not on no disrespect. It's just that doesn't make sense, and it's in the black community we're taught at a young age, you know, you don't question this, you don't question that, and I feel like that's wrong. What do you mean? You're supposed to question everything. If you're not questioning it, are you even thinking? Are you alive? Like,
you're a sheep.
You're just being told what to do. You feel me? Like, that's not wrong to you. That doesn't feel weird. The world is about learning, exploring. You know, so don't question it doesn't make sense. That doesn't fit the equation. And so it's just like, I do that. I am the embodiment of that. I don't fit the standard or the norm of following line and just be doing what you're told because they think that's right for you, and they don't even sit down and have a conversation with you to understand what's for you. You feel me? So it's just like, I am the embodiment of that energy, and it's just like, I know that, quote unquote, people try their best for what they had and what they were given, and I feel that and I understand that. But I know I'm gonna go rounds for mine, and I've been shown that. So it's just, I seen the good, the bad, and the ugly, and I feel like I've had the observation to understand each and be in each shoe, so I understand what it's like. I will never, take that away from someone. They can feel how they want to feel because I feel how I feel. And you can't take that away from me, no matter who you are. So being outspoken sometimes is why I guess you can see that being black sheep or generational breakers, because it's that energy of not following the same path as your elders.
I mean, in simple, I don't want my kids. My thing is, it sounds rude, it sounds crass, but if you aren't at a place that is bigger than what I can envision for myself, then why would I take advice from you? We go wrong in trying to listen to guidance from elders just because they're our elders. And that is not how you create new things, whereas innovation thrives from being something different.
Yeah.
Trust me, I won't be, not in a hatred type of way. I'm not going to be what was given or what was shown, because I think we all crave expansion. We all want to grow. That is what our lineage, our ancestors want us to do, is to grow from them, not to be the same. That's downright boring. Mm-hmm. Don't repeat those cycles. Yeah. in patterns. So I definitely think I'm a black sheep because I think different, and my mind doesn't make the same connections that theirs do. Like, I can recall having a conversation with my mother recently, and I had this joke that she's a Agent Smith from the Matrix. Like, you know, when somebody has a moment where they try to be somebody to put you back in line towards the traditional path of the Matrix, go to school, go to get a job, higher education, all that stuff. When you try to force somebody back on that path, right? So I sometimes call her Agent Smith for some reason. And basically, we were talking about my path forward and where I'm really trying to build my wealth. And she's like, well, why don't you do IT? You know, take the certifications. You are so smart. Like, you'll get there in no time. And I'm like, but what you're not understanding is the value I've added to my life already is more than what IT could ever do for me. I could, yes, study right now for 2 weeks, a month, take a test, get a job within 3 months, make $100,000 within a year from that job, right? Versus if I'm using that year on myself, I can tell you 20 different ways I can make $100,000. We're putting limits on ourselves, and that's what being a black sheep completely breaks and shatters.
Yeah. As a black sheep, I'm thinking big, bitch. I'm not being put in a box. Little dummy get put in a box. Like, what do you want, bro? Like, you gotta think big, bro. Like, and a lot of people are stuck in this little corner painting this little picture, but what they don't understand is they're not painting that little picture is just a small detail. Like, the whole frame is back here. Your bird's eye view is down here, though. That's the thing. You gotta think big.
You don't know what you don't know. And that's why you can't, being in this position, you cannot, you know, try to force it on your family or anything. And that's really why I said I'm in the stage of my life that I'm at right now is being of action and showing. Because I can't, being the black sheep, I literally cannot speak it to you because you don't have the awareness to perceive that possibly, right? But I can show you. If I'm doing it, if I'm making it, I'm showing you, there you go.
Yeah.
Maybe you have faith then. Like, I don't know. I don't know.
Have faith then.
But
having faith then doesn't do anything for me, though, because I'm going to continue doing what I've been doing.
Yeah. Yeah,
because
I mean,
those that didn't believe, but when you see it in the flesh, now everybody's a believer. Isn't that like Jesus? Like, you know, like, isn't that how that works? You feel me? So it's just like, you got to stay strong in you and understand that discipline and being on that higher frequency is something that can be very lonely, but it's so rewarding at the end. And it's just like, I'm saying all this and I haven't even reached the end yet. But I've walked through some dark days.
The journey's been great, y'all. The journey's been great. But, all right, so let's talk about, like, what it means and how our family relationships and friend relationships have how they've changed. Transpired, whatever. How they've changed being the black sheeps that we are. Like, what have you seen? How have you seen your connection to your mother? Connection to your father, connection to your siblings? How have you seen that change?
Like, for instance, my brother, because that's the longest one I can say, the change or whatever. Other than, like, I mean, yeah, but, like, he was there before you were there, but it was just, like, we've gotten closer in other aspects, but, like, as far as that go, like, comparing other than you.
Yeah, I know.
It's like, okay, well, let's use him. So it's just like with him, it's like, you know, we were real close being younger, and now it's like we're different. You know, I don't know much about him. He doesn't know much about me because I know people change. And so it's like the stuff that I do know, and it's like I'm little sis, but I'm still giving the advice. You feel me? Like I'm dropping knowledge on my boy's head. Like, you feel me? I'm dropping gold nuggets, and it's just like I love that. Because it's just like, I wish that I had that. So it's like, where I can help, I'm going to help. And that's even with my little sister. Like, she's what, 15? And so it's just like, she's a teenager right now. And then I'm just thinking, like, damn, when I was 15, like, I was going through this, and this. Like, in my journal that I have, I've had it since high school to now. So it's been some years in between, and I was reading that, and I'm like, damn, this kid was, like, sad. Yeah. This kid was, like, screaming for help, and then it was...
Isn't it crazy how much threshold we can take and internalize as a kid, like
As
that's
a
just
kid,
it's just
it's-
crazy. Like
it's
you don't
deep.
realize until you reflect back that
Yeah.
that shit was deep.
That shit was
Anyways.
heavy, and it's just like damn, and it's like I kind of like my body sheds tears, but it's like I'm not really sad. It's just like reliving that or seeing that pain. Then is just like damn, like I went through some crazy shit, and it's like half the time people around me didn't even know. You feel me? So it's just like to see me go through that and be where I am now. It's like ain't no fucking way. Like if I did it then and that was some crazy shit, now it's just like So it's like I try to be there for her just because it's like I know what it's like to be a teenager at that age, and then the whole family situation going on, that's extra. So it's just like I try to be there, but it's also like because I wasn't there growing up, it is different. So it's just like me saying I'm there that probably isn't equating the way she probably needs me to be there.
Yeah.
But it's like I'm trying to scratch that surface to understand how to be there. It's just I need return on the back end. You feel me? So it's just like it can't be a one-sided journey. It has to be both sides willing to understand that and go there. And
Yeah.
again, it really comes down to awareness in all relationships. It's the awareness of how your words or your feelings or your actions can affect one another, especially that person, and what triggers them and what doesn't, and should that be your responsibility behind those feelings and etc. So it's just navigating the waters again, calming them waters down and letting understand that I don't have to get upset because they're upset. You feel me? Like
I can definitely see how you're saying, like, being the black sheep. There sometimes you are the person who gets away and you don't really know your siblings anymore. Like, I think that's very common for the black sheeps in the family not to be in contact with their siblings and their parents, and it's just broken family things. Like, some of us have it, some of us understand it, and
if you know, you know.
yeah, it like you said, it's about seeing the awareness in relationships, and you talked about our siblings and growing that and understanding that you have to get to know them. They aren't the person that we knew 10
Back
years
then,
ago,
yeah.
7 years ago, however long you last seen them. So you can't come into it like that. You really have to come into it open-minded. And then for the ones that, are laced with trauma, let's talk about, parents, my mother and my father, for instance. I've really seen how I cut my mother off, let's be honest. And doing that was probably the best decision I've ever done for myself. Because today we do have a decent relationship. And whenever a boundary is crossed, I can see how my experience that I've had as a black sheep, I can really take the onus upon myself to point out a boundary and state what I need to say to her and let that known. And if it's pressed upon again, I know how to restate myself and make that boundary very, very clear. So it's something that you can see that's very healing, and that they're more understanding of who I am as a person, and
not who I was as their child.
Yeah, not who I was as their child. There's definitely growth in that, and you can start to see some of those relationships grow. So I think it can be a beautiful thing sometimes too.
Yeah.
That's not everybody's story, though.
Yeah, that's true. It is what it is, at the end of the day. Like she said, I did cut my mom off for a time being, and then, I still feel like there could be a talk had there to, really smooth everything out. We just watched the movie last night. It's really good,
Yeah, that was a great movie.
It had a lot of layers in it, and I really don't know off the top of my head what the movie's called, but
something better not to have them at the wedding.
Some of the people we hate at the wedding or some shit.
The people we hate at the wedding. I think it's that.
Something like that.
I think it's that. Go check it out.
And basically, it's siblings from across the way and having half siblings and this and that. Mom, dad, parents, and the relationships there, and basically as an adult though, like how to navigate those relationships being of age. And it's like there's no rule book on that. So a lot of the times where as children are coming of age, of being grown and everything like that, parents just like when we're little don't know how to navigate us yet until they had some practice. Same thing with having a grown child. It's kind of a shock because this is your baby all grown up doing the same thing that you practically can do: go to work, have a job, lay down, have intimate relationships and everything like that. So that can be sometimes hard to navigate, where you're setting a boundary or standing up for your boundary, and it's coming across to them as disrespect, when all that is just me setting my boundary that you're overstepping or overcrossing. And so sometimes that's hard to navigate, and it's just like where there's fights, and that's why people be distant. In the movie, he was distant from his mom and this and that, but he didn't understand the actualness behind it, and his mom still loved him anyway. It's just like having that love for a sibling or a parent doesn't go away, but it's just like sometimes your mindset and what you can see at the moment can blind you from the overall picture. Again, it comes down to that awareness. You painting that small picture when there's a bigger picture. You feel me? So navigating that and knowing when to step back, or knowing when you're wrong, and being able to understand why you're wrong, accept that, and apologize. I feel like that's hella big, to be loud and wrong, but to be loud and apologize is even, more than being loud and wrong. You feel me?
Yeah, I think, again, back to that movie was literally great because
it was great.
I've never seen in my life, like, I've seen these movies where there's a happy family and families are together, and those are the movies I've seen. Like,
the bullshit.
I've never seen
fluff.
I've never seen.
Well, I get it's fluff, but for me, but it's real for other people. But to me, I call it fluff.
Because I've never seen a movie like this that I've actually identified that, hey, my family looks just like that.
Yeah.
Like, this was the first one, and
it's kind of spot on.
Yeah. So yeah, it was like there was a sibling who lived in London, two siblings, like half sibling,
and seeing
divorced
each other
parents,
and divorce, and it kind of it was hitting on it was hitting on topics that's real that people tend to hide because it's not picture perfect.
Yes,
it's not the little picket fence with my family and everything is great, even though behind closed doors we're beating the fuck out of each other. You feel me? Like it.
That was a little dark. That was a little dark. But yeah, like you were saying, because it was. You keep saying the little picture and then the big picture. I think that's important because they were sitting all together. This is the first time they all met up at once since like 10 years of seeing each other. And I can relate to this because we actually went through this shit. Yeah. So it's actually really hilarious. If they were sitting there and throwing little digs, and the son is just, he won't even hug or talk to his mom. He's like, and there's little things that he still hasn't forgiven his mother for, and you can see that in his actions. And I relate to being at that energy and being in that stage. And then later on in the movie, you find out that the thing that he doesn't,
didn't know
the issue he has with his mother was actually her trying to protect him.
Yeah.
And it's actually funny because I have a sync with that in my real life. And again, throughout life, we just have to see that there's this journey being painted. You have to have you can't have like guilt. You can't have, oh, well, why was I this left in my perspective? Why was I this right? Why was I, so dead set on only seeing this? You have to have forgiveness and grace for everybody, yourself, and understand that we're painting beautiful lives. Like, literally, it's a process. Have forgiveness, understanding. Again, check out that movie. I'm telling you, check out that movie. It's not sponsored or anything.
It's on Amazon Prime, so yeah, go check it out.
Go check it out.
Go check it out.
Yeah, I think it was even cute that they had like all the missed holidays, and then they would take the pictures from like it's spring, it's summer. They take Christmas photos, like relatable.
Not really. We didn't do that. We didn't take the pictures, but like to get it all in one, I can understand. I can see that. You feel me? Like, don't relate all the way, but like I can see that.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing. Awareness is a beautiful thing. You don't know what you don't know until you don't know. You feel me? Like,
Yeah.
Be open. I feel like when it comes to like being a black sheep, right, and you have friends, like sometimes it's like, oh, you know how you like in that friend group, you know, they're like that one person who's like, that's actually a really cool ass nigga, and the people around them don't really appreciate that one person as much as they should. Like it's like that, right? So it's just like, with that being said, like that one person experiences so much that it's like I can be in tune with all of you, and that's why like they're like the gel in that piece. Like you said in Atlanta, like you were a gel in a certain thing where it combined it multiple people, where it was a good thing all around us. You feel me? So it's just like that's
I really like that you said that piece about, you know, being a black sheep as being someone who kind of, I connect with all parts of you because I've been through and experienced so much that there's so many facets that I understand your struggle, your struggle, your struggle, and your struggle too.
yeah.
And I think it's deep. Like, and that's why it's like navigating and finding our soul tribe is, I can say, is also so hard because of that.
Yeah.
Because, you know, there's a lot of sides to us, and then it's like the people that you do find that are like this, black sheep, not everybody's ready to have that, you know.
Yeah.
It could be triggering sometimes. There's trauma bonds. Like, trauma bonds exist, y'all. Like, be careful out here.
Drama.
But yeah, you got to be careful that you're not trauma bonding with people, but you're also finding people that you can relate to.
Yeah.
And sometimes that they come from a shitty past. Like, I have a shitty past. We've been through a lot. So I feel like I've joke about it all the time, but I feel like I've lived 4 lifetimes so far, and I'm only 22.
I'll be thinking about my past lives that I had, because sometimes them characteristics come out, and I'm like, damn, why this feels so familiar? Why I'm so good at it? So it's just like, yeah, crazy how that works.
Did you want to?
Quantum leaping and whatnot. Try it out.
Yeah.
Only if you're ready. At your own risk.
I think that was pretty good.
Weak.
Okay. I guess it's a wrap on that one.
I'm gonna miss out my juice. Let's
make sure it was recording.
For you, babe.
It was. Damn, 32 minutes.